Awesome. All right. Well, it looks like we're live now. So I want to welcome anyone who is watching this live stream right now or watching the recording. I'm just interviewing one of my clients who just finished up his 12 weeks in the Cut Method Academy, and his name is Anthony Hull. So we're going to use this as an occasion to really just ask him questions, get his feedback, and share any tips that he might have for anyone out there who's looking to create their own transformation. So welcome, Anthony, to the call. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Gerard.
Good.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. So maybe you can start off by just telling everyone like what you do for a living and like how old you are.
Yes, so I'm 38. I'm based in the UK and I'm a digital entrepreneur. I've been working for myself for the last 6 years. So yeah, I'm just starting a new business actually with like website designing and consulting with the Kartra platform. So yeah, it's that's pretty much what I'm doing now.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Well, you're one of those guys, digital entrepreneur. The problem with us digital entrepreneurs is that we sit most of the time. We spend a lot of time on our laptops and live a very sedentary lifestyle. So we're going to dive into what you were doing to get your results first. But can you tell everyone like where you were on your fitness journey before you got started on this program? Like, what got you there? Like, were you consistently exercising? Like, how was your nutrition? How were you feeling? What were you doing before you started inside the academy?
So before I started the academy, I was actually part of another Facebook group for accountability. And through that group, I actually did make the decision to try and improve my health because I got to the point where I was always feeling very tired, very bloated. Like whenever I ate anything, I was like really bloated afterwards. I just needed to make that change. I knew from just working like from home all the time, I just wasn't heading towards a very bright future. So there was this Facebook group where they were just saying, you know, like post your goals and then every day just post your accountability and say what you've been doing. Yeah. So I downloaded a few apps. I went through all these different fitness apps, trying to see like which of them could help me with a gym routine that I could just follow myself. I didn't want to get a personal trainer at the time because I thought, well, there's all these apps and they pretty much tell me what a personal trainer would tell me. Well, that's what I was thinking anyway. So I went on a 21-week streak. So 21 weeks of 4 workouts every week for 21 weeks, which was the most I've ever done in one stretch. And at the end of that 21 weeks, I was definitely a lot fitter. Right? I felt a lot fitter, like quite alert, I'd say as well. But I still had that paunch, this kind of like stomach sticking out, which I just didn't like the look of. And that just wasn't going. So I got quite kind of demotivated by the fact that I still pretty much looked the same, even though I felt better. And then I saw on your Facebook feed, there was a guy that I actually knew personally who had this amazing transformation in a shorter time. I think it was like 12 weeks where he went from what I looked like to like completely flat on his stomach. And I was thinking, wow, like if Gerard's got him to achieve those results, then I'm sure like I can do it with his expertise. So that's what led me to joining you.
Awesome. Appreciate that backstory. I mean, 21 weeks, that's more than most people commit to anything. So I had to commend you. I mean, when we first spoke, I knew you had the drive, you had the determination, you were putting in the work like a lot of people do. I mean, you were pretty obsessed with getting the result. And I think you mentioned when we first talked, like what you did get on the program is you got really good at doing burpees, but you still, despite all the efforts you were putting in. And I know what those apps are like. I've done those apps, and some of the workouts are really tough, a lot tougher than the workouts I prescribe anyway. So, I mean, like that's well and good for, you know, mental health and clarity, but it can get frustrating if you're actually looking for an aesthetic result as well, right? Because being overweight or having too much body fat actually lowers down your energy levels. And it's something that if you're putting in the work but not getting the result, you're going to feel like, what am I putting all this work in for? Yeah, I'm feeling good, but like is it really worth all this effort if I'm not actually changing physically? And that's one of the biggest things. And I think that I knew you were probably, you would have been concerned at the start whether this was going to work for you, because you had been putting a lot of work and effort in. So, I mean, like, what was the final straw where you're like, nah, I've got to reach out for help? What was that for you? Like, what was that moment you're like, I should reach out?
The moment was just that I was still feeling lethargic, like whenever I ate a meal, especially, like I'd still feel bloated. I almost felt like I had some kind of gut problem, like some bacteria imbalance or something, but obviously it's not the case. And yeah, just seeing the physical appearance of, like, just seeing that belly, and just like always feeling your love handles, like just I just wanted to get rid of that. I mean, as I say, I'm only 37, and I do feel like if I didn't do anything now, then things will only get worse. And also in terms of going on that like 21-week streak and feeling fitter but not actually seeing the results, I started to doubt myself. And like, I'd get all this kind of advice from, different YouTube videos or books or whatever, but then unless you're speaking to someone who really knows what you're doing at that particular time, and where they can like just tweak what you're doing or just tell you something that will make drastic changes, like that person was missing. So I wasn't quite sure where to turn. And that's why I thought, look, I need an expert who's actually done this for numerous clients. And that's what led me to you.
Awesome. And so there's a couple of things there that you said. So a lot of like the information out there's a lot of information, and that creates two things. You can either get information overwhelm, where there's too much information, so you don't take action on anything because it's too overwhelming, or you get shiny object syndrome, where you start looking at like, oh mate, this person's saying this, maybe I'll try that, or maybe I'll try this set of workouts, maybe I'll try this diet, and then that ends up you trying too many variables, throwing too many things in, and all of a sudden you don't know what's working, and maybe nothing works at the end of the day. Which is why it's so important that you choose a source of information and you just follow through with it. Keep it simple, and then just follow through, be consistent, and that's how you see results. So what was about my program that was enticing to you? Like, why did you pick us instead of going with a personal trainer? Because obviously you could have got a personal trainer, but you opted for the online stuff.
Well, I have had an actual physical personal trainer in the past, a guy just at the local gym. And that was about a year before the 21-week streak that I just talked about. Yep. But with that personal trainer, he would meet me like 3 times a week in the gym. But I just found like he was just standing there kind of telling me what to do and just watching me like do continuous reps. But he didn't actually give me any advice, like any of the theory behind what I was doing. So he was just saying, look, just do these exercises and then I'll see you next time. And that was pretty much it. And I was paying like £50 an hour for that. And I just didn't feel the value. So I think I lasted about 3 months with him, and it just got ridiculously expensive. And yeah, I still didn't see the end result.
Like what kind of...
Again, just feeling fitter, but stomach was still there. Like the whole nutrition side that he didn't really, I mean, he did mention it, that it's important, and kind of pointed me in that direction to try and look for healthy recipes, but it was largely left up to me to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so sorry, what was the question again? I've lost track.
I was just asking, why did you choose like online?
Oh yeah, so why did I choose you? Yeah, so I mean, I have seen other online coaches, obviously, as well, but and I even saw your program like months before I actually signed up with you. But it was just that I saw someone that I knew, that I actually personally knew, who had been through your transformation program. Okay. And I just had that belief. I thought, well, look, I know this guy. I've seen his result. And once you have that belief, then that's like, that's half the story.
It really is. I mean, just people don't believe in themselves, because a lot of people who I talk to initially anyway, they've tried a lot of things. And when you try a lot of things, but still you don't change, then obviously you can start building up this feeling of like, maybe fitness isn't for me. Maybe my body isn't destined to change. Maybe my
Yeah.
metabolism is broken. Maybe this is just not for me. And that's just not the case. It really isn't the case. And what I want people to know is that what you just said there, it's the belief. The belief needs to come first. You need to believe in yourself, or hire someone who really believes in you. Because even if you don't believe yourself, when you talk to someone who believes in you, believes in their program, then it's just rubs off on you. And when you start seeing results, that increases self-belief, increases motivation. You take more action, you get even more results. So where are you now in your fitness journey? Like, what did you have to do to get this transformation? You mean at the end, I think you dropped what 19 kilos. I think 8.5 kilos, and
Yeah,
you lost the
kilos and about
weight.
10 centimeters around the waist as well. So like amazing results. The stomach is a lot flatter now. Like I've lost that paunch, lost the love handles. I mean, there's still a little bit to go. I mean, I can't expect miracles in just 12 weeks, but in 12 weeks, the results have been the best that I've ever had through anything that I've tried before. And I've tried a lot of different things. So yeah, feeling fantastic as well. Higher energy levels, ability to focus. It's yeah, everything's just through the roof and best they've been for years. So
Awesome. I mean, 12 weeks, it goes pretty quick, doesn't it? I mean, at the start, you might think 12 weeks is a long time, but before you know it, 12 weeks can go like that. And just like you did before meeting me, you did 21 weeks and stayed the same. So seeing that you've just created that amazing result in 12 weeks, you got to think, what's another 12 weeks going to do? Where am I going to be for a year now? Because now you're a lot more educated, because you know what actually makes the biggest differences. You know, we didn't go so hard on your workouts. We just paid more attention on the nutrition, and you saw the results there. We kept you accountable every week as well. So now that we've talked about your physical transformation, can you speak more to the mindset transformation of like some of the mental wins that you went through as well?
yeah, so just having the belief firstly in you that we've just talked about, but then seeing the weight actually drop off week by week actually built that belief and confidence in myself as well. Like thinking that, look, Anthony, you actually are staying consistent to what Gerard's teaching you, and the results are happening for you. So that just made me feel like, yes, I can actually be consistent and I can actually achieve those results. And that in itself is such a big motivator for other areas of your life. Like in business, if I, you know, like I'm starting a new project, let's say, and then I think, well, if I can apply the same steps with the fitness, like where I have a goal and then I just keep following through every day, then I will see results. So I think that kind of mentality really did help, like building on positivity, and also just being surrounded by people on that same journey as well. Just seeing that, you know, it's not a silver bullet where you can just lose the weight in a flash with a pill. I mean, there is consistent effort, and just seeing other people go through that journey with you really does help as well.
And I loved your post as well. I mean, Anthony was a guy who would week by week would put updates, weekly updates with ticks on what was going well, what wasn't. Even if you missed workouts or you didn't get your steps in, you still own up to it. You were still honest with yourself. And that's what you need to be when you get coached. You need to be honest, you need to be open so that you can get coached and be coached. And you were very coachable, and there was times when we got you to like just be a little bit more, you know, cautious of the way you track things, and that just made the hugest difference. Weight loss kept coming back down, and it just pulled you out of your own head there. So what were some of your like go-to meals? Like what were some of your indulgences? Like what are some of the things that you did to enjoy your meals? Because I know at the start, I know you didn't like the quantity or how bland they were, but I know you were someone who posted a lot of recipes. So can you share with us some of your favorite meals while losing this weight?
Yeah, so in terms of meals, like in the latter kind of half, like the latter 6 weeks of the plan, I pretty much ate what I would normally eat, really. But I just made sure that the total calories of those meals were within my restricted number. So that just made it a lot easier just to keep track, and obviously keeping an eye on the protein content of those meals as well. So if it was, you know, like chicken and potatoes and vegetables, I just make sure I've got enough chicken to keep those protein levels up. And obviously having the protein shakes as well in the morning, that will help bump up that protein. But yeah, I mean, initially when I first started and I had to follow like the meal kind of plan that you gave me, the meals were kind of bland and I did struggle with that. I was thinking, how could I live for 12 weeks on just like tons of carrots or just there was just like no flavor or anything like that. But then I realized that there's so many resources online, especially on YouTube, where you can find all your favorite meals. Like you can find cheeseburgers that are like 350 calories, for example, or healthy versions of pizzas and desserts and all that kind of stuff. So if you're willing to just do a bit of research and find healthy alternatives to your favorite meals, then you can really cut down the calories. And like one big thing I learned as well was olive oil. Well, I always thought olive oil, you know, with the Mediterranean diet was like one of the healthiest things you can have. Yep. But then 1 tablespoon is like 100 calories. And that was a real shock to the system. So just finding, you know, these small kind of golden nuggets and then implementing them into your daily like food prep was like a real win for me. And also talking about meal prep, that really helps, you know, when you have a busy lifestyle. So kind of cooking, say at least lunch and dinner for 3 or 4 days in advance. So just like cook a big batch and then buy some meal prep containers, stick it in the fridge or freeze them if you want them for longer. That really does save time. And it just kind of forces you to eat healthily as well, because you know exactly what is in each box, how many calories is in each box. So
awesome tips. Yeah, one thing that people look at meal prep and it's like they look at the time putting into it, but they're not seeing what they get out of it. They get more discipline, they get more organization, they save time throughout the day and they make better food choices. And you save money as well because you're not wasting all this food or making silly food decisions. So I'm glad that you started creating that discipline. I'm sure this is something you're going to take with you in terms of like creating that healthier lifestyle, being more prepared. And the other thing you mentioned there was olive oil. And yes, olive oil is a great food. It's a health food. There are a lot of healthy foods out there. However, if you consume them in excess, then you're not going to be able to create the transformation in your body. Because if you have body fat on you and you have too much body fat or you have a belly that you want to get rid of, then we need to teach your body to tap into that fat store rather than getting the extra fat from the olive oil. So as long as you moderate the olive oil, you can now tap into your stored body fat. And that's what you learned throughout the process. The fact you learned also how to make cheeseburgers and healthy versions of unhealthy foods. That is one tip, and why I'm such a believer in flexible dieting, where it's like eat mostly whole foods, but you can make healthy recipes of unhealthy foods as well. It's all out there. We have the information. You just got to know how to implement it. And you did that consistently, and that's why you got the results. So what's your best tip out there for those who want to create a similar transformation to you or want to get started? Like what's your biggest tip for someone out there who wants to create transformation? They feel stuck, just like yourself, and they feel like they're doing everything right. They keep saying they're eating healthy, but they still maybe have a gut like you had. Like, what's your best tip for them?
So the biggest tip for what helped me was literally tracking what I'm putting in there. With MyFitnessPal, which is the app everyone uses to track, that really made the biggest difference. And I know it can be annoying to have to weigh your food, but it does get easier. And also, if you've done it for like several weeks, you kind of like know, you know, like how many calories a chicken breast is, so you don't need to like weigh it all the time. But just knowing that number of calories that's gone in, it's pretty much calories in, calories out at the end of the day. So just having that kind of repetition every day that I've eaten, you know, I've matched the number of calories that for my target for my weight loss goal, and just doing that every day consistently, that's what made the biggest difference. Like in terms of the workouts, like as you mentioned, your workouts were fairly easy. I mean, I did most of them at home, you know, due to like COVID. Like I didn't need the gym to be lifting massive weights, and I still saw the results, which is incredible. So definitely nutrition, just like focus more on the nutrition, drink plenty of water as well, because like that's something you taught me about. You know, the body processes can't actually work effectively without that water. So yeah, those are my biggest tips: nutrition and water and consistency. Just keep going, don't give up.
Awesome,
and you will
mate.
see those results.
Really, really good shares there. One big thing is you mentioned the MyFitnessPal, tracking what goes in. That's the work that no one wants to do. Hence, everyone they're not be able to create, you know, their transformation despite all their efforts, because they might be doing lots of burpees, doing a lot of things, but they're not tracking the nutrition intake. Maybe they just don't know like what's in their food. Because I talk to a lot of people who tell me every day they eat healthy, but they have 50 pounds to lose. And I'm saying, well, maybe we have to look at your strategy, because what you're eating obviously isn't resulting in health. So one of the big things is that tracking can be a little annoying at first. It takes some getting used to. However, what it does is it increases accountability, because you're accountable what goes in. It makes you more accountable, and education. Because once you start learning what's in food, you can get to that point once you get close to your goal where we can pull back off the tracking. Because whenever you know now that whenever you want to drop the excess pounds, whenever you want to go for another round of like fat loss, just pull out your app, get more accountable, know what's in your food. It doesn't mean you have to eat bland foods. You get to eat burgers and pizzas, whatever it is that you can make healthy, as long as you're tracking your calories, you're being educated, you're being accountable, you're showing up and being consistent every day. That's what gets the results. So I'm glad that, and they're really good tips, by the way. So any final thoughts out there for anybody watching this live recording or watching the recording?
Yeah, I just want to say that if you're serious about seeing those big differences in your body and you've tried everything else, then definitely consider Gerard's transformation program, because it literally is one of the best things that I've actually invested in for myself and my fitness. And not only that, my partner has also seen dramatic weight loss results as well. Her ideal weight was 60 kg, like when I started this program.
Yep.
And although she wasn't actually part of the program, she just kind of saw what I was doing and learned from me. And she's now down to 57, which is her like lowest weight in, I don't know how many years, but a lot of years.
Getting fit together, couple. I love that. And it shows that once you start living a healthier lifestyle, you start setting an example for those around you. Right? Christine saw you getting healthy, saw you losing weight. She's like, I want a piece of that. You know, you educate her a bit. She's cooking meals with you. It's great to see. I wish you said that earlier, but like, I love Christine, and I know you're both going to continue this transformation process. And really, mate, you've been a really good client to work with, and I wish you all the best. And thank you for sharing this program and transformation with others. And I wish you an awesome day. If you have any questions, drop them in the question box below, and me or Anthony will reply to them when we see those questions. But mate, thanks for sharing today. And once again, good luck with your transformation. And it was really good working with you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Gerard. It's been awesome. And I'll definitely be back for more training with you. So thanks again for everything.
Appreciate that, brother. We'll take it to another level.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye.